Are we getting ready to roll, Joe?
Yep.
It's frozen on 4.
Frozen, huh?
Frozen.
All right.
Well, how are you?
Stress is my constant part. Hello and welcome to Sports Opinion, sports talk show on Channel 18. My name is Dirk Keller. His name is Bob Boyd.
Hi, Dirk.
His name is Bud Supple. And this is Earl the Pearl Murphy.
That's him right there.
Guys, it's good to see you. Good to be together.
Good to see you, yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't know if you got any comments on last week's show. I got a few.
Did you?
Yeah, I
Well,
did.
tell us.
Oh, people just thought I came on a little strong about the football program and Kirk. Not necessarily that I was wrong.
Well, I guess you and I both did.
Yeah, and it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
But I don't have any regrets.
So,
No, it wasn't. Although Earl agreed more with me than he did with you.
yeah.
But see, that's why they call it sports opinion.
Exactly.
It, That doesn't mean we're right.
It's a good name, isn't it?
It's
I
perfect.
heard from
Yeah.
3 or 4 people, and they thought it was a good show because we were voicing our opinion.
And our opinions differed
Yeah,
somewhat.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Well, we can't sugarcoat everything.
No.
I mean,
Nope.
this is not a secret. People aren't happy.
That's
It's
right.
a win-and-loss sport.
That's right. There's a ledger.
Yes.
Well, let's
Wins.
get.
But you're right.
Losses.
Win and loss.
It's win and loss.
We
How
would-
much did you win?
If we would have went 9-3, we'd all been there.
Well, let's get one thing clear, though. Listen, we all support Kirk Ferentz and his family and appreciate their contributions to the community and the kind of people they are.
Well, I think he knows that too, Bob.
Yeah, I think they need to know that because nobody wants to see Ferentz, leave in this
Or fail.
room.
Or fail.
Or fail
God.
in this room. We'd like to make some changes, and I'm sure he will, and we'll move forward, and things will get better.
We're
But
counting on it.
yeah.
And Nebraska getting beat by Wisconsin.
Woo, doggies.
Oh boy.
We set Nebraska up for him.
Oh,
That's right.
boy.
We set Nebraska up for him.
I got to tell you,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that
All guys.
a lot.
That was fun.
That was a spank, spank, spank.
Didn't it bother you that maybe Nebraska could be representing the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl?
Very much so.
Oh.
Well, I think it's going to be as bad as Wisconsin, though.
Mm-hmm.
3 years in a row with-
5 games now.
Yep.
When have we ever sent a team to the Rose Bowl 8-5?
Never.
We never have.
Zero.
I know.
Never
So, I
have.
mean, that's not too good.
But you know what? It's
normally
almost an advantage because nobody's going to think they're going to beat Stanford.
No, but normally you
That's
get the Liberty Bowl or something when you go
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, speaking of Wisconsin, my, how things can change in just a short amount of time. Now, tell me the truth. When you heard the news yesterday afternoon, did you believe it?
I believed it,
And we're
but
talking about Brett Bielema going to Arkansas from Wisconsin.
I was surprised.
It didn't make any sense to me.
Me either.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it.
I had a funny feeling.
I thought it was a hoax.
I talked to him early in the season, and
You talked to who?
Brett, he still has an account he calls down
Oh, really?
rather than going through the FTD way.
So you spoke to Brett Bielema earlier in the season.
Right, and he said, people up here but aren't like the Iowa fans. He made it clear. He says you do something wrong, they're
Yeah.
on you regardless what it is. And they
That's a
watch
big
it.
city.
That's right. And
Yeah.
he says, it doesn't have to be football if you do anything wrong and it seems like somebody's watching.
Yeah.
And he just, he didn't know indication he's leaving and saying he loved it up there and all that stuff. But this is why, and I don't think him and Alvarez were getting along too good.
Really?
Yeah.
Say that.
Well, just, you get this stuff on it. The voices. Last year, they were really upset too.
Oh,
They
yeah.
lost.
They lost 2 Rose Bowls in a row.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not only the season, I think losing those 2 Rose Bowl, now they're going back, and I feel most of the people up in Wisconsin don't think they got a chance to win the Rose Bowl.
Oh, they got a chance.
They do have a
Yeah.
chance. Oh, yeah.
They got Monty Ball in the backfield. They got a chance.
You know what? If you could put points up in a Big Ten championship game
Against Nebraska.
against Nebraska, you know you can beat anybody on a given day. And I think
That's right.
Wisconsin. Look at the 5 losses. You know, 3 in overtime and 2 others by 3 points. I mean,
And they could have lost a 6th game.
Yeah.
If who was it? What school was it? Utah?
No, the one that almost beat him and should have was Northern Iowa.
That's right. That
That's
was a close.
right.
Well, that
Northern
was-
But
Iowa.
Utah, it was either Utah or Utah State. The kicker had a chip shot field game, 31 yards.
yeah, that's
missed
true.
It.
Yeah.
But
Missed
Northern Iowa had the ball.
it. Yeah.
They were driving.
What happened?
He fumbled the
That's
ball
right.
down on the 10, 12-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That was like their first or second game,
That's
wasn't
right.
it? And in Madison.
Not that Northern Iowa was a bad team.
No.
But that wasn't a good Northern Iowa team this year.
Well, Farley had his first losing season.
Yeah, but he's a good
this year.
coach. And
Yes,
Yes, he is.
You know.
Very good coach. Went 5-6, and yeah, they had a pretty darn tough schedule too.
Rumor has it we're getting a transfer from the Northern Iowa football team.
We are.
Yeah, don't know who, don't know what position. Just read that this morning before I left the office.
I'd sure like to see
Hope he's a receiver.
Barry's nephew come back.
Who's that?
Lehman.
Oh, Barry Lehman.
Regina, he got a starting position because the guy
Yeah.
who replaces got hurt, so he started the last 4 games.
You know anything about it?
Yeah? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
Well, this would be an interesting.
If anyone does know anything about it, please call Bud tonight after midnight on his home phone.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we can hold the recruits that have committed to us.
That's what I really worry about.
You don't know until February, do you?
And
when they sign.
And right now, I saw something last night that ranks all 14 Big Ten teams, Maryland and Rutgers,
Yes.
for what it's worth, from a recruiting standpoint, Iowa ranks number 13 in the Big Ten.
Oh,
and,
man.
And, you know, the roster's pretty full for these high school seniors.
But we're always
Yeah, we never
play
ran
better
through
when
that.
we don't get the hot shots.
Well, here we go. I'm going to disagree, sports opinion, but we don't have enough talent on this team this year. We didn't have enough talent. Upper classes, we had a lot of defections, a lot of injuries, but no more than any other team. And I don't think we have the talent.
But I think we got a guy can run that ball better than.
I don't think we got enough good coaches. That's the only personal.
Well, I don't think you're wrong.
I would go along with you more than I would
Talent.
I agree.
I didn't see the
Some
talent
of
on
our
the field.
good well, you did the last 2 games. Was hurt.
Who?
Before that, the running back.
Oh, I'm happy with our running backs. We would have better if Coker would still be
And
here.
then I think you got a quarterback that's sitting on the bench that's going to wake your eyes up.
We better have. But why was he on the bench the whole year?
Well, that's
Why?
because the coaching.
Yeah, you keep waiting and waiting and
Yeah.
waiting.
You said it though, Bud, because of the coaching.
Yeah. See, that's
Yeah.
one thing about Kurt. I think when he brings coaches, lets them coach.
Well,
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it's so. Not all the way.
Something was wrong
Well, I
and
think
something
things
was
are
off
going to
all
change
year.
now that they improve it. You know, Marv's the same way.
Uh,
If you go to one of Marv's ball games, he just walks around there and the coach is coach.
yeah, he just
Now,
walks
after,
around.
now,
He doesn't sometimes even go into the huddle. He's
no,
got
I
his
know.
coach. He's just
But
kinda
if
standing
somebody
off to
does
the
something
side.
wrong, you look over the end of the bench. He's talking to
He's not afraid to call timeout.
No, that's right.
That's
Oh,
a
no.
little easier to do when things are going well. You can do that.
Yeah.
When things aren't going well, the head coach had better be in there shaking some things up.
Yeah. Well, I trust Kirk will shake some things up.
I'm sure he will.
One way or another. I trust he's got the talent he needs in the underclass, as well as the recruits coming in. I sure hope he can hang on to these.
Hasn't he been in this position before?
Kinda. But I don't know that he's ever had a downward
Yeah.
trend like this. He was in this position his first couple years.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah.
But he kept
Yeah.
improving. This is regressing.
Yeah.
I'd say he was in this position when Christensen started,
Yeah.
and we went
6-6.
We actually, in Drew Tate's last year, we went 6-7. We got beat by Texas in the bowl game, and then the next year, I believe, was Christensen 6-6. Remember, we got beat by Western Michigan at home.
Senior day.
Cost us a bowl game.
On senior
Those
day.
2 years back to back
That's it.
were similar to where he's at right
That's what I
now.
was thinking of.
Yep.
The one we did go.
And then he changed and
But
He got
then
some talent in here.
2 or 3 years ago,
went to Stanzi.
I can't tell you what year we went 6-6, and we went and beat number 9 Missouri in a bowl game. So we've had some good teams.
That was
going.
just
Yeah,
2-3 years,
3 years
ago.
ago.
The year that we
Yeah.
were voted the #1 recruiting class in the country with
that was that Christensen class and Moliaki
Oh,
and
that's
that
right.
group, and that was
Trey Strauss.
Richardson.
they would have come in
Yep.
here, and I believe their
Richardson.
senior year was 05, 06. They were here
Okay.
in the fall of 06. That sound right?
Yep, and that didn't work out so well.
Not so well.
Well, a lot of them.
Most of them didn't even finish it.
Yeah,
Now-
best recruiting class we
Now,
ever
help me
had
this.
on paper.
We've gone to more BCI bowls or whatever they call than anyone.
No. Not even close. More than any other Iowa coach.
You BCS games, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
BCS bowl games. In other words, the top
how
8.
long have they had the BS?
BCS, golly,
BCS.
Bob, you got an idea?
I think the first year was 98
So it's 14 years.
BCS. First
Well,
championship
now,
game.
what do you consider BCS bowl?
Bowl championship series.
Huh?
Bowl championship series would be the
It's
top.
that
8.
old.
Is it the top?
Well, now it's top 10. Remember they added
Yeah,
that
but
fifth
it
game.
was the top 10.
It was a top 8, now it's top 10.
Right, but it was, I'm counting when it was top 10, we haven't been in yet.
Yeah, we have. Orange Bowl was a BCS bowl game.
Yeah,
But I mean,
two
since
Orange
they
Bowls.
went to 10, we haven't been at
Oh.
a top 10 game. We've been to the Alamo Bowl, not the Alamo Bowl, but
You've been to two
Inside.
Orange Bowls.
the 2 down in Florida.
Two Orange
We've
Bowls.
been there 6 counting Florida.
Well,
Those aren't all
you're talking
BCS
about
bowl
Capital
games.
One and
They're not?
Outback. They're not the BCS bowls. The BCS bowls are the Rose, the Orange, the
Fiesta.
Sugar, the Fiesta, and then they have the fifth
The
bowl
rotating.
game, the rotating one they add.
Which is, the championship.
I'm not familiar with what's the
BCS.
BCS.
Bowl College
Championship
Bowl
Series.
Championship Series.
Okay.
Well, I thought they were included in it.
No, not Capital One.
Just
And the
16,
Outback, they're just regular top
Regular
end
bowl
bowls,
games.
but
16s.
No, it was 8 teams. Now it's 10 because they added. I don't know how many years ago they added.
So what you're saying, there's
Fiesta.
5 or 6
just
years.
5.
There are 5 bowls that are BCS
Yes.
Bowl Championship Series.
Those are the big money bowls.
I thought there was
I
8.
think there's 32 bowls, aren't there? 30 or 30.
35 bowls.
Yeah.
35, they added a couple. Stars.
Oh, we're going to talk about them because I've got them all listed
Okay,
right here.
all right, all
Let's go back to Wisconsin for a minute,
Yeah.
because I think this is really interesting.
It is.
Obviously, Brett Bielema felt, and I've talked to a few people that know him since yesterday, this wasn't about money or unhappiness with Wisconsin. He wants to win a national championship. And you're not going to do that these days unless you're in the SEC, the Southeastern Conference,
That's right.
which is Alabama, Florida, LSU, Texas, A&M, Kentucky,
Georgia, Mississippi State.
Yep.
Why are you saying that?
Well,
You have a better chance.
the
in
national
SEC.
champ has come out of the SEC. Auburn, another one. Auburn's SEC.
Well, I have a tendency to disagree because if Ohio State had been eligible for bowls and played, let's say Nebraska in the Big Ten championship, they'd be 13-0. They'd be playing Notre Dame for a national championship, not Alabama.
I agree.
I agree with you.
I agree.
So we can't You can win a Big Ten or a national.
Well,
But it hasn't
Ohio-
happened in
and
6 or
Ohio
7
State
years.
did it.
The only way you can win a championship in the Big Ten is to cheat like they do down.
Well, that's right.
But
Well,
Ohio
that's
State
right.
won it one year.
Who?
Michigan won it in '97, but that was the year before the BCS started.
And Ohio
But
State
Ohio
won it.
State-
Ohio State
with
won
the
it in-
quarterback.
Was it 02 or 03 they
That's
beat
what I'm
Miami?
saying. You
Yeah.
got to cheat.
That's right. And Ohio State are
Cheats.
cheaters.
Yes, Ohio State's cheaters.
And you know
Well, they got caught.
they got cut, and they're paying for it now. And
They
pay,
are.
you know, they're going to pay for it next year too, to a
But-
degree.
I'll tell you, you can talk to you. What Brett will never make Arkansas a number 1 or 2 team. I'm telling you that right
I
now.
think
I think he can.
I think he
Well, then
can.
he's going to have to cheat.
You know, an interesting.
That's right.
I was listening to.
I
Gary-
agree with you, but you got to cheat.
I was listening to Gary Dolphin on the pregame basketball telecast last, and you know he's had conversations with Brett and apparently knows him pretty well, and he said he wasn't all that surprised because he said he likes the South, he likes the Southeast, and he used to recruit down in Florida for Iowa,
Very well.
and then for
mind you.
Kansas State,
Yep.
and then he's got 10 Florida kids on his Wisconsin roster,
Yep.
and I think he sees the availability of more talent down there, more speed, and good weather. And see, you know, they're the number 1 conference. It's going to be tougher to win, like Bud said, but you know, he can recruit,
He can recruit
he can
with
coach.
the best of them.
and you know, I think he will win down there. I'll bet you next year.
Well, I'm not saying he's not going to win. What I'm saying is you will never see Brett 1-2.
He won't get a national championship.
National championship.
That's possible.
Well, those are hard to get.
Well, but I mean, he's saying that's the reason he went. He wants a national champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Arkansas is not the place to go.
If you really want to get a clear, really outlook on Alvarez and Belima, we ought to talk to Bernie Wyatt.
Yeah.
He probably, if he would talk, you know.
Bernie lives in town. If he's got cable,
Bernie
maybe he's
probably
watching
wouldn't
his
say
show.
much.
Well,
I agree
no,
with you.
but I had a talk with coach that was here, and then he was Florida last year, and he's not there this year. This kid was a good quarterback, Jack.
Oh, Verducci.
Yeah, I had
Oh,
a long
yeah,
talk with him last night in between games, and he thinks that there had to be some trouble brewing around.
That's
here.
right.
He really feels that way, which I started out saying
Yeah.
I
Oh,
almost
they've
knew it.
been
And
unhappy with Bielema up there
that's
for
right,
quite a while.
and that's too. So there was problems there.
They're unhappy with Alvarez, or
No.
He's unhappy with
Unhappy with
Bielema.
Coach.
Yeah.
And Alvarez is probably one of the best athletic directors and coaches there are in the nation. He wants to win all the time.
So,
So you lose 5 games.
yeah, that's a big
Not
deal.
that he was going to get rid of him or anything,
No.
but I bet he had some words with him about why are we
Yeah.
losing these close ones and that.
Well, now you brought up Barry Alvarez, who coached the Badgers in the Rose Bowl.
He'll be down on the field. I'm
You think
telling
Barry
that.
will be?
Barry will be down on
Wow.
the field.
He won't coach him though.
Well,
No.
Barry will be down. We both agreed to that last night. He's not going to let those kids down.
Yeah.
No, he'll be down there. You're right.
Do you think they'll hire an interim
Yeah,
coach?
I think they will.
Wisconsin looked just tremendous
Yeah.
game day.
I'm
Yeah.
sure their offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator will be the acting
Well,
head
those
coach.
guys are all brand new to the job.
Yeah, but
That's why he'll be
He
down
lost
on
6 coaches last year, and he fired one.
One, he fired one.
That started this
He
year.
did
after-
not want to fire that one.
Who made him do it? Barry?
Right.
Yeah. So, would Barry come out of retirement
No.
from coaching?
No,
Would he wouldn't do that.
No.
He wouldn't do a Bill Snyder
no,
at K-State.
no. But he'll find somebody fantastic.
Okay.
he will. You're right.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you, you've probably all heard and read the names that are being bandied about
Yeah.
for the Wisconsin job. First on the list is Pist, who is the head coach at Pitt. He's
One
been there
year
1
head
year.
coach. Yeah.
He was the longtime offensive coordinator for both Bielema and Barry. He is a Madison native, a UW grad, and it would probably be his dream job.
He turned it down already.
No, he didn't.
He was on
We'll see.
Big Ten Network this morning.
Oh, but
Okay.
what did he say?
He said he wanted to stay right where he's at.
That's not turning it down. That's not turning it down.
Good point.
I think I'm going to tell you who I think's get it already because he withdrew his name from North Carolina State or what?
Oh, Doran,
Doran.
the Northern Illinois
Right.
coach, who was
And
there 1
As
year,
soon as yesterday
2
afternoon,
years.
2 years at NIU.
yeah, two
Just took that
2
job at
hours,
North
I know
Carolina
it.
State.
Oh yeah, over the weekend.
withdrew.
He took that job Sunday.
He
Yeah.
withdrew.
Huh?
He withdrew
What?
yesterday. His offer for down there.
For North Carolina
No,
State?
he didn't.
Okay.
He's already been introduced.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
he signed a contract.
That makes no difference.
Well, he hasn't officially said I'm out of here.
I'm telling you, I think it's going.
Well, there's two
That could
guys
be.
that want the Wisconsin job, though.
Yeah.
All right, now the other,
Ex-Wisconsin coaches.
If we're all wrong, we'll just cancel the next week's
That's
show.
right. Yeah.
Myself.
a lot of the national people think Paul Christ is going to take the job, the guy at Pitt.
Now, here's the other thing. You know, these buyouts on these contracts have gotten pretty big.
Oh,
So that would have that would be a major factor in whoever takes this job, maybe.
yeah.
You know, if they've got a huge buyout at Pittsburgh, let's say, for example, or North Carolina
I
State.
don't think he had time to sign a contract yet.
Who? Christ?
Okay.
Dave Doran.
Doran.
He wouldn't have. That contract would not be ready. You're right about that.
Yeah. And he withdrew. I'm telling you.
Okay.
But Paul Chris signed that Pittsburgh contract
That's
a year
right.
ago.
Yeah, okay, that's that.
So-
Let me tell you what some people are speculating.
All right.
What's the
Paul Christ at Pitt leaves and takes the job at Wisconsin. Pitt calls Kirk Ferentz home.
Kurt Ferentz is not leaving the state of Iowa as long as
That
his
is
son's
truly
coaching.
speculation.
Absolutely.
He's not leaving the
No.
state of Iowa. I'll
No.
tell you
Okay.
that right now.
Okay.
I would agree.
Now,
I think our next, if I had my opinion, which I think I do,
sports
our,
opinion.
our next coach there will be his son,
Whose son?
Kurt.
Oh, Kirk's son. Here.
You mean him?
Yes.
Oh.
And he's going to stay right there with him until.
All right, let me throw out some more deep,
All right, let's
deep
keep-
speculation.
All right.
Brett Bielema goes to Arkansas,
Right.
stays there, let's say 5 years. He was at land for what, 6 years, 7
7.
years?
7.
So he's at Arkansas 5 years, and 5 years from now, at the age of 62, Kirk Ferentz retires. Brett Bielema comes back to
I
Iowa.
will go along with that.
Somebody who knows Brett Bielema called me this morning early to tell me he has it on a good source that was Brett's intention,
But
was
you
to
don't
go
know if he's
away
not
and
gonna
then
have
come
it.
back.
I will agree with you. Now, one thing we'll find out. If he leaves his tattoo on his leg.
Oh, yeah. He'll leave that on.
If that goes off, then maybe not.
Brett will not be the Iowa coach in our lifetime.
Okay.
In our lifetime.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, let's see. Dirk's the youngest here.
And I might be
Right, you
going
got-
before any of
good
you
point,
guys.
Very good point.
You know.
Another name bandied about is Paul Rhodes from Iowa.
Yeah, very good coach.
Yes.
I don't think he'll leave there. That's home for him.
Well, but Bob, the only thing is, if they lay down
Big money.
big money,
They're
Yeah.
giving him.
and they will, Wisconsin will.
Do you think he's in line for the Wisconsin job?
He could be.
He
He's
could be.
well respected.
I bet he's on their list.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think he's a good coach. I'd like to see
Well,
him
and then
leave.
Yeah. Exactly.
another one you can throw out that I heard this
Yeah.
morning is Dan McCarney.
No.
No.
At Badgerland,
Well, they were on the police
Nah.
department
Nah.
together.
he burned some bridges up there.
Yeah, he did. Too late.
Oh yes, I forgot.
Yeah,
about
he
that.
burned
I
some
should-
bridges.
Okay, I agree with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But he's had a good year down in,
What did Dan
North
finish in
Texas.
North Texas?
I think above 500.
He did?
Yeah, for the first time in a long time.
Oh, my.
Their last game they
And
won
that's a
pretty
perfect
good.
job for him.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't see him
But I
going
think
back
he-
to
he-
cheese
I
line.
think it's a step inside. I think he wants to go one
Well, he's
step.
had to.
Oh, that's right.
'Cause that was his, what he just finished his what? Second year or third year?
First year at North
Yeah.
Texas.
No, I think
No.
second year.
Got to be at least his second year, doesn't it?
Your opinion's wrong.
I thought it was his
Wouldn't be the
year.
first time.
No, I
thought it was
agree
his
with you.
first
I think
year.
it's his second
He thinks
year.
my opinion's wrong.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can live with that. I can live with being wrong. I've been living with it all my life.
I
I've
get
been
it.
living with it all day. What the heck?
Yeah, that's right.
He's out there for the cheesehead coach.
Uh,
How about Bart Starr? No.
How about the co-coach?
You know somebody? No, I doubt that.
Bart Starr collapsed yesterday giving a speech.
shut up. You know who they're talking about is Brad Childress, the former Vikings head coach, who is now the offensive coordinator somewhere.
And Bobby Diaco.
Oh, that's the other one.
Yeah, that's
Bobby Diaco, that could be.
Very
Yeah.
put him up, and he's really himself.
Do you think they would hire someone who's never been a head coach before?
as long
Wisconsin? Sure.
Well,
They hired Brett.
they hired Brett.
and as long as Alvarez
They hired
is there,
Barry.
because he'll come in Alvarez's office and he'll lay down some places, and we're going to go over these.
I think we ought to
Let me
send
tell you that.
Bobby Patino up there.
Petrino?
Petrino, let him shake things up.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
shake things up in
Take his girlfriend too.
Cheeseland. Interesting dichotomy when you talk about Bobby Diaco.
Yeah.
Went from Iowa, eventually to Notre Dame, and then could end up in Cheeseland. Barry Alvarez, Iowa, Notre Dame,
Mason City.
Cheeseland.
Mason City.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah. Well, and Nebraska and some other stops. Bobby Diaco's also had some other stops, but what they would have in common, he and Barry,
Right.
Iowa, Notre Dame, Madison. I don't think they'd give Bobby the job, but he's a hot commodity.
Oh, I
right
would.
now.
Yeah.
I think, and I feel he will.
Yeah.
I'll call Bump.
Bump will know.
He'll no, he might not.
Well, it's really interesting
But-
to see how it's all going to
It's
lay
all-
out.
But Bump's
yeah.
boy could go with
I know.
Diaco, too.
That's right. That's right.
It's a coaching carousel, that's for sure.
I hope we're not 100% wrong.
About.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
I hope so too.
Probably somebody out there in Goo Land that's going to get him. We don't even know it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some football bowl games coming
now,
up.
They can hire a coach from in the Big Ten, Wisconsin. And they might go after the Northwestern coach.
That'd be funny.
That is, his name was brought up.
That would be funny.
Pat Fitzgerald is too loyal to Northwestern. He's a South
Well,
Chicago guy. You
well,
know,
They say
Notre
put the-
Dame
put the-
tried to get him,
Put the money.
3 or 4 million on that table.
I bet Notre Dame put
Well,
that
Notre
kind of money
Dame,
down
they
on the
did.
table
They
for
could have
him.
put all that money on the table, and he wasn't interested.
I'll be darned. Okay.
I mean,
College-
I think he'd be an excellent coach no matter where he went.
Yeah.
But I just don't see him leaving Northwestern.
I do.
Well,
The main thing, did you see the last ball game they played?
who?
I bet there wasn't
Northwestern?
16,000 people in that stadium.
Oh, is that right?
Like I said,
That'd drive a
that's
coach
right.
out of
they don't
there.
belong in the Big Ten.
No.
Well, hell, I can't.
Boot
say
'em out.
that.
They were
Blew
playing
them out.
Illinois. That'd be a bad game to watch.
Ooh.
Hear what?
They were playing Illinois that game, weren't
That's
they?
right.
That'd be a bad game to see.
16,000.
Well,
Oh,
but
man.
they're right in Chicago.
Yes.
You would think they'd get at least 35, 40,000 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure would.
Big Ten ball is nothing compared to the pros.
No. And nobody cares about Northwestern.
No.
Nobody, not even their alumni. They don't show up. Oh, if they make the Rose Bowl, they'll show
Even
up.
our game.
No.
There's
That's
all
why
kinds of tickets.
They play in a high school stadium, in a high school basketball arena, at best. I played in better high school gyms than they have. They don't belong in the Big Ten. They don't earn their keep. I'm going to say it again. They get so much money from the Big Ten. They share in all the bowl revenue, but they don't generate any.
Well, who are they playing in?
Northwestern? I don't know.
But the bowl in Florida.
The
new
toilet
one,
bowl?
Huh?
The toilet bowl? Oh, no, that's Flushing, New York.
The one
Here.
up
I
on the
can't
border.
remember.
I'm looking it up here.
One on the
This is
border.
an SEC team, isn't it?
Yeah.
They are playing Mississippi State in the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl.
Gator Bowl.
New Year's Day.
Yeah.
New Year's
That's
Day.
a big one down in
Yeah.
Florida. They sell out.
The
most.
Gee,
TaxSlayer.com.
these bowl names.
See, that's the one that we should have last year instead of back to Arizona.
Yeah, well, but didn't we go because Northwestern couldn't draw flies to a dead body? I mean, they got passed over for the bowl.
Yeah.
So
So we played in it 2 years in a row.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got about a half hour left, and so
Okay.
Just one other thing. Talk about bowls. Iowa State is playing Tulsa, right?
Yeah.
They played Tulsa this year. They're going to play us again
Is that right?
in the bowl, right? And they also open up with Tulsa next year.
Is that
So
right?
three.
Is that right?
Right. Now, that's
3 times in less than a year.
I know it.
Should we talk about bowl games now, or should we talk about men's and women's basketball?
Men's and women's basketball.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
That won't take too long.
Yeah, I'm not too interested in bowls this year.
The men's basketball team beat South Dakota last night by 24 points. It was
Yep.
a close game in the
Were
first
you there?
half. Yep, I was there. Eric May bobblehead doll. Saw Pat White there.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of people there.
Did he give it to you?
No, I got in line. Me and the boy got in line for our bobbleheads.
He gave me one, so.
Did he?
How many did they have?
1,500. Oh, bobbleheads. I think in person there were probably about 6,000 or 7,000 people there last night. It was very slow developing. At the start of the game, it looked like a Licklider era crowd. Wondered if anyone was coming, but they showed up and they got loud and they filled in real nicely.
But see, that's another case. They played on a Tuesday night. Regina, City High,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Clear Creek, Sullivan, they're all playing basketball. You're
Yep.
not going to get those people.
Yeah, and they
That's
announced
why I
the
didn't
crowd at
go.
11-7.
Well,
But, that's tickets sold,
Yeah.
obviously.
I wasn't going to go to the game actually, and then I found out late yesterday afternoon there's no TV for the game.
No TV.
Well, you're 3 blocks away. I might as well go.
But I don't understand that no TV. I thought with understanding with this Big Ten network.
Just wait till Maryland and Rutgers get on
Yeah,
board.
Yeah.
Then there are going to be fewer games, and fewer wrestling meets, and fewer women's games, and
they're
a
gonna
whole
have-
lot.
But there'll be a lot more advertising.
Oh yeah,
I don't think that's fair. I think it
not.
should be divided up equally.
I agree too.
Who do we talk to get that taken?
Gary
Barta.
Barta. Yeah.
Well, that's not on my agenda.
I do like the fact that Gary Bart is not real fond of this Friday after Thanksgiving Nebraska game.
Yeah, he's right
Yeah.
about that.
I hate that game.
I agree.
See, I like
I didn't go to the game because I'm sorry, family comes first.
Yeah.
You that live here
Yeah.
and have your families here, you don't have to travel like I do.
Well, I do when we go there. But I got a daughter over there.
Yeah.
You go there.
Yeah.
Well, the big game for the Iowa men's basketball is going to be Friday night, 7 o'clock. Iowa State comes to town. That ought to be a humdinger. I can't wait.
Be a good crowd for that one.
Yeah, and it'll be on the Big Ten Network,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah, but, I'm not an Iowa State fan, but it's unusual how, you hear the University of Iowa, the whole state knows who you're talking about. But Iowa State, they got new teams every year.
A lot of JUCOs, a lot of
Yeah.
junior college kids come and go quickly.
That's
Transfers. Fred Hoiberg, the head coach at Iowa State, it's no different this year. He's got a lot of new faces.
That's right.
A lot of one and dones. They'll be there 1 year and out.
Well, he has a transfer from Michigan State who started for Michigan State 2 years ago. He's got a starter from Penn State, and he's got a starter from, what is it, Utah?
Sounds
I
right.
think.
3 guys that redshirted last year,
Who's the guy for?
and they've all played at their previous schools and were
who's the
good
guy
players.
Scored 32 points on the other night.
I can't think of
Is
his
there a
name.
Mills or something?
What?
Mills?
No.
Bill?
Okay.
I'd rather have the 4-year player than
I would.
Oh, I think
Oh,
I know that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean, that's the way to recruit to a school.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we do here is the right way to do it.
Well, this should be a good game Friday night.
Oh, yeah, they
Can't
got some
wait.
players.
Can't wait. Fran got really hot and bothered last night. I mean, red in the face, mad at his players. This was not a very good South Dakota team.
No.
And they were raining 3-pointers over the Hawkeye defense in the first half,
Yeah.
and the crowd was just going, ooh. And there was a point
Yeah.
late in the first half where Fran got beat red in the face, yelling at Who's the freshman guard?
Clemens.
Clemens. He got really upset with Devin Marble one time, and he should, because Devin Marble plays terrible defense. He is just terrible. I'll tell you who else I am not impressed with Oglesby at all this year.
Well, McCabe has had his troubles, too.
McCabe didn't look very impressive at first last night. He took a lot of bad shots and missed them all.
But what I liked about last night, the second half, every basket we made was worked in there.
Yep.
On our passing.
And we started
to
contests.
Me, a good team, you'd have to know how to pass. Mm-hmm. And we passed perfectly
very well.
In the second half.
Yeah.
I thought they passed very well in the first half, too. We just took some bad shots, ill-advised shots.
Okay.
But the way they pass that ball and they work it down low. This Woodbury kid just keeps getting better.
Yeah. Passing.
There are not going to be too many teams that can stop Woodbury in the Big Ten.
No.
Don't you think this Clemens is going to be a diamond in the rough by the time he graduates?
He is a difference maker. He can make assists. Very well.
Yeah.
Well, I was impressed with our center.
Oh, yeah.
Woodbury,
When he goes out, the whole dynamic of this team changes. Not necessarily for the worse, but it changes everything. How they play defense, how they work the ball around
when
offensively.
they were passing, they got it into him. He made it every time.
And he's a good passer.
He's a good passer.
He's got that reputation. Plus, he jump hook and make it with either hand.
That's right.
That's
pretty
unusual.
Yeah.
And he's a scrapper. He needs to get stronger for sure.
Bring him on.
But he will.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a real interesting game. Iowa State game, Friday night. Again, a high school basketball night, which really stinks. But it is what it is. It's finals week next week, so there won't be any games for a week. And the women will be playing Iowa State Thursday night at 7:30. I went to their game. I went to all 3 events on Saturday at Carver Hawkeye.
You were there all day, huh?
Oh, what an endurance contest. Wow.
Now, do they feed you while you're there all day?
Yeah, right. I had both kids, the 2 youngest ones, I should say, and they had a good time. We all had a good time. The men's game was a blowout like you thought it would be. The women's game against Northern Iowa was pretty competitive, and they did win handily, but it took some time.
They pulled away eventually.
Yeah, the women, it seems, still have a ways to go. Our freshman guard, our senior guard, who hurt her knee, Jamie Printy, she still has a ways to go, I think, in her recovery. She's not physically there yet, and maybe sometimes not mentally there.
But I really feel that they really look good.
Morgan, great.
You got so many kids on there that
Women, yeah, and they got some new kids that are contributing.
Out of Minnesota.
Oh yeah, they're getting a lot of kids from Minnesota. Callie Petchel is really going to be a good one. Who's the kid? Claire Till from Dubuque, I think is going to be a good one.
Yeah, she's tall.
She is. She's a big girl. They need that.
She wasn't available. Wasn't she out for the game? Or?
She's got a bump.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh yeah. She heard it last year. Yeah.
Yeah. As a senior in high school.
So, Iowa State's always tough in basketball, women's basketball, and they've got a heck of a coach, maybe one of the best in the business. So that game Thursday is going to be a real good one.
Halftime, I get to go on the floor because of the scholarship.
For the women's game?
Yeah.
Are you wearing black?
Yeah.
Better wear black.
Yeah.
Even
All right.
the women players are wearing their black uniforms.
Oh, good.
Thursday night against Iowa State. And the coaches are all wearing black.
I'm wearing black.
You better wear black.
All right.
Better wear black.
So you're going to be down there at halftime, Murph?
Yes.
That game will also be on the Big Ten Network, as it should be.
Well, there'll be 2 pretty good games with Iowa State.
Yeah.
I would say they should be very competitive because those teams are evenly matched, both men and women, I'd say.
And they have a man coach, don't they?
Yeah, Fenley. Yeah.
Been there a long time, Murph.
He's a good one. He's a good one.
Awful good.
The
And he stays there.
Yeah.
Well, he's been there close to 20 years,
I was
hasn't
going
he?
to say, I bet so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Lisa's been here for 13 or 14. That's hard to believe, too.
But I really feel that our girls really look good. They're going to beat some teams.
Yeah. They could use a little more speed,
That'll come along.
and the shooting needs to come along because right now it's real spotty.
Are you going to go?
No, I have to go to Regina game. My granddaughter.
Yeah,
plays.
you do. You
Well,
do.
I would say,
Otherwise-
they say the Iowa men, they're not worried about their three-point shooting,
Yeah, I am.
but they ought to be. Because, 2 for 16, I can make 2 for 16, okay?
I'll bet against you.
There isn't anybody who's looked sharp from three-point land. Oglesby's the one that really concerns me because his shot just looks terrible. Looks like he lacks any confidence in himself. And you can just tell when the shot leaves his hands, that ain't going in. And then late in the game, maybe not last night, but some other games, late in the game when the game's in hand, he'll start putting up threes, and all of a sudden you realize the rotation on the ball looks perfect, and boom, it goes in. I think it's a confidence thing or a pressure thing with Oglesby, but right now I don't want to see him on the floor anymore, not for a while.
He knows that's what's expected, I think, is to make the threes, and when you're shooting 30% from threes, and but he's also the kind of guy.
I don't think he's shooting that much, is he?
I don't know, but
I think he's maybe 10%.
he might come in next game and make 3 or 4 in a row. I mean, that's
again,
what shooters do.
The coach will know what he's doing. He'll come in if the coach thinks he's.
Last night I was watching South Dakota, and they had 2 little guys. One of them from Iowa, from Carroll, Iowa.
That's right.
And I'm telling you,
I think he's shot it first.
when the ball left their hands, you knew it.
He had 4 threes, I think.
He looked good. Well, he got 2 early in the game, and then he got 2
But look
in
at
the
the guy
second half.
from Grinnell.
Yeah.
Yep, the 137-point scorer.
Well, then the other guy on the other team got 78. They agreed not to guard either one of them.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That ain't basketball.
No, I know, but I say you can shoot those 3-pointers, but get some defense on it. You're not going to make that many.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And that's what we weren't doing, playing defense on the perimeter, apparently.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
were
see,
making
that's-
theirs.
But you know what? I'll say this. There were times when South Dakota had a Hawkeye in their face, arms up in their face, and they still hit him.
Well, then
It was an ooh,
then you
ah
can't
kind of
help
moment.
if you were really playing defense on,
Yeah.
and they're going to go down some.
Well, I'm worried about Oglesby, and right now I don't want to see any more of him.
Oh, I do.
I want to see other players that aren't take the shot. He looks reluctant to shoot. When he does, he doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look set. He doesn't look to have his feet under him, and most importantly, he doesn't have the rotation on the ball once it leaves his fingertips. Everything looks wrong about him. And yeah, shooters,
Well, it can be
they
mental.
they can work through it, but he has started off very poorly this year. So I'm concerned about him. But you know who looks good when he shoots threes is the freshman point guard, Gasell.
Yeah.
He almost looks more reluctant than Oglesby to shoot, but I think he's much more aware of the moment on the floor, and when he realizes Oglesby isn't going to shoot it or isn't going to make it, Gasell will step up and take it and most likely make it.
Well, tell me this. How many points do we end up with?
86 or so.
85.
Now,
I
our
think.
shooting couldn't have been too bad if we got 86, 87 points.
We had a lot of high percentage, AKA dunks.
They had
Right.
54 points in the paint. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a lot of putback
But
shots.
if you're going to be a good team, you better make points in the paint.
And they did.
You have to do both.
Yeah.
You have to have a
I
good
know,
balance, yeah.
but it's harder to make them in the paint on defense than it is taking a 3-pointer, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll tell you who else is impressive right now is Melsan Basabi. He's cleaning up around the
Yeah.
basket.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
shows no going in there against the big guys. Even when he gets rejected, he comes right back and takes
Who
it
was
to
the
him
guy from
again.
England?
Melsan. Right? Oh, no.
No. Okay.
Olin Sabi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gabe Olashaney.
Olashaney, he
Yeah.
played a very good second half.
Yes.
Well, he didn't get in until the last 10 minutes.
But he had 9 or 10
But
rebounds.
he
didn't
almost had a double-double.
And 8 points.
Yeah.
And
See, I was really impressed with the game last night.
Did you see it?
I seen it on ESPN morning, or the Big Ten Network. They showed
You saw
probably.
highlights.
Well, okay, but I seen it. They showed
Yeah.
a good quarter, the second half. They showed all the big. If you get up early on the day after the games, they show them all, every Big Ten, not the full game, but you get a good quarter. It ain't like
I
a
got
news thing.
Okay.
So somebody was showing it.
Well, Aaron White, God bless him. The guy's a mom.
Oh,
He
boy.
had another classic.
He's a basketball
Putback.
player. He's a basketball player.
Yeah, that's just what the announcer
He's a
said.
basketball
He is
player.
so good around the rim on offense and
Talent.
defense.
He's a very good athlete.
Very smart.
Yeah.
He's got a good, keen sense of where that ball's going when
Got
it
the
hits the
instinct.
rim. He had one of those monster slams last night on a putback rebound.
Yeah.
Good recruiting.
Oh, I love watching him play. Yes, very good recruit right
But
there.
Iowa's averaging 80 points a game, guys. So that's
Yeah.
what they were doing.
And that's what
The
the,
last several
announcer
years.
said.
Yeah.
Look out for this team.
Good.
Yeah.
He said there's not a team out there in that Big Ten doesn't think they're going to come in and clean up on them and get a win on them. And he said, well, I guess maybe not Wisconsin after
They got beat him twice.
They
I'm
learned the
on there
hard
for
way.
ya.
Yep. First game of the Big Ten season.
Well, we have depth that we've never had before.
There you
That's
go.
nice.
And they just need to get more experience
I've
playing
had
together.
him twice.
They'll get better.
I'll tell you, Will.
But that's recruiting again, Bob.
Exactly. Exactly.
You got to love a Fran coach team. They're very exciting. I'm just looking up when we
Coaches
played.
are a lot better with better athletes. You ever notice?
It's uncanny how that works.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wisconsin at home January 19th, and then at Madison on February 6th, just a couple weeks later.
Okay.
We open the Big Ten season with Indiana at home New Year's Eve.
Oh, boy.
3 p.m. New Year's Eve.
Boy, that'll be
get
their
'em.
first loss.
Yeah.
We'll get them.
Yeah, what a way to
That'll be
start
their
the
first
season.
loss. won't it?
I'll tell you
Indiana?
one
Yeah,
thing.
it
We'll
will
take
be.
them down.
4 or 5 years ago, they come in there rated awful high on New Year's Eve, and we beat them.
Down they went.
You think our kids won't be up for that one, huh?
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think Adam Woodbury is going to be up for the challenge to go up against Cody Zeller,
That's
number
right.
one big man in the
They may
country.
have
Two
on,
7-footers.
Yeah.
they may have on the bowl game. Kent State.
Yeah, we won't have to worry about that distraction this year. There's no bowl. Oh, speaking of bowl games,
Yeah.
we got to talk about. Oh, okay, real quickly.
All right.
The Iowa wrestlers whipped Iowa State last Saturday night.
Sure did.
That was a lot of fun.
I'll throw that meat.
37-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iowa State won at 197 pounds.
Yeah.
There were a couple of really exciting matches.
And that match was 5-4, I think.
It was close. Yeah.
And
It was a really close match, 3-2 or something like that.
yeah,
How long do you think that coach is going to stay up at Iowa
I don't
State?
know.
not too long.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, not too long. It'll be right.
Jackson. Yeah. That's
Oh.
too bad.
There we go.
So we got bowl games coming up. The first one, Bud, can you name the very first football college bowl game?
About the 20th of December?
No, December 15th. I'll give you a hint,
Okay.
Bud. It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Can you name that bowl?
Well, I can name one, is New Mexico.
It's called the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl,
Oh,
and it's going to feature Nevada versus Arizona.
can't
You're a
wait.
kid.
No, December 15th.
Well, I'll take Arizona.
December 15th must be a Saturday. Yep. That's a week from this Saturday.
Yep.
Also on December 15th, there is a very famous bowl game being held in Boise, Idaho. Bud, can you name that?
No, I can't.
Bud, it's the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And that's the name of it.
When I was
How
not
could you
in
not
it,
know
I don't pay any attention to anything.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Utah.
And that's going to feature Toledo versus Utah State. Now, Utah State, who did they beat this year to give somebody? Was it Oh, that was the Wisconsin game.
They almost beat Wisconsin.
Should have beaten them.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
Well, are we going to do bowl picks officially?
Oh no, there are
okay.
too many.
I'm surprised Idaho's not in that. It's a potato bowl. Would you have Idaho in there?
Well, now this is an old traditional bowl held. The next bowl game is held December 20th in San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium. And Bud, that's the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I knew it was a
Poinsettia Bowl.
poinsettia. I'll be selling them.
Yeah. You could get yourself hooked up as a supplier for that.
Brigham Young versus San Diego State.
Yeah.
Is that much of a bowl game for San Diego State?
I don't know. They changed the name of the stadium. It used to be Jack Murphy.
Yeah. Well, it's a new stadium.
Is it?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where the Padres play baseball.
Oh, okay. So it's not really a football stadium. It's
Not
a baseball
really.
stadium.
Yeah.
Don't
And
you
that's the
hate
only
that?
bowl game on the 20th, which is a Thursday. Then on Friday night, the 21st, you're going to have in St. Petersburg, Florida, at Tropicana Field. Bud, can you name that bowl?
No, I
The
can't.
Tropicana Bowl.
No.
Oh, okay.
It is the Beef O'Brady's St. Petersburg Bowl.
Beef O'Brady's. Okay.
It's not enough to be Beef O'Brady's Bowl. It's the Beef O'Brady's St. Petersburg Bowl. And that will feature the powerhouses of University of Central Florida versus Ball
I was
State.
going to say Central Florida.
Yep.
Okay.
Another Florida team filling up
Yeah.
the bowls. Okay, that's the only one on Friday, December 21st. Then the next day, on Saturday, December 22nd, in New Orleans, at the Superdome, we have the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl.
What's R&L?
I have no idea. It must be a
R&L Carriers.
trucking firm or something.
Must be.
That Stellar Bowl will feature East Carolina versus Louisiana Lafayette.
That should be a good one. I'm going
Is-
to that.
Is
Next-
Louisiana
next-
Louisiana Lafayette had a
It was
pretty
the
good
first
year.
good bowl game.
game-wise? Yeah, yeah. Then later that day, on Saturday the 22nd, in Las Vegas, you have the traditional Mako Las Vegas Bowl, or is it Mako? M-A-A-C-O. And
Okay.
this is Washington versus Boise State.
Ooh.
The Mako Las Vegas Bowl. Then,
This is
on,
all before Christmas?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the last bowl game before Christmas. It's on Christmas Eve at 8 p.m.
In Hawaii?
Yes, in Aloha Stadium. It's going to feature Fresno State versus Southern Methodist University in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
Oh, there's a name at least we recognize.
I guess.
And then you
Sheraton.
have to stay at the Sheraton, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll.
But that's
give you
where
a
they'll
great
have
deal.
that's where they'll have the team luau.
Yeah.
Sheridan that night. Yeah.
Believe it or not, there are no bowl games on Christmas Day, but you won't have to wait long because on the day after Christmas,
Yeah.
Bud's favorite bowl game, the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl in Detroit, Michigan.
All right.
I will never go to that bowl game as long. Now, the Big Ten's still not
We're
clear.
not even good enough
They're
to go to that
still
bowl.
there?
We're not good enough.
I'm glad.
Western Kentucky versus
Yeah.
Michigan. The Chippewas.
Okay.
Chippewas made
The
a bowl.
Yeah,
Chippewas.
just think.
See, if they hadn't beat us, they wouldn't have got to a bowl.
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I bet that sells out.
Oh, I imagine.
Because you
yeah.
get all the pizza you
Oh,
want. to.
That's right, all the free pizza.
No, the Western Kentucky Hilltopper team. They're a juggernaut too.
Yeah, if it's vegetarian pizza. too.
So they're going to that bowl.
The
A lot of
Yeah.
Little Caesars
Terrible
Pizza.
place.
Terrible, just
All
terrible.
right.
Yeah, who would
They're-
want to go to
they're-
Detroit City?
For anything.
I bowl that I want to go to.
See, that's what they need to do.
I haven't seen
Murph.
one yet.
They need to
I think
eliminate
Boise
about
State
15
would-
bowls.
Boise State against Washington. That'll be a good bowl game. But otherwise,
Yeah.
they're horrible.
Well, you ain't
Yeah.
heard nothing yet.
Oh,
December 27th in Washington, D.C., you have the Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman. Don't they
Is that
make
the stripe?
weapons?
Isn't that the stripe? Where Iowa State played last year.
Oh, that's right. What's the stripe?
Stripes and stars forever or something.
Oh, I don't know. It's at RFK Stadium featuring San Jose State versus Bowling Green. Why do they call it a military bowl if there aren't any military teams playing?
yeah, I was kind of wondering that.
And isn't Northrop Grumman, aren't they weapons manufacturers?
I wouldn't care to go to any of these bowls.
No. San Jose State
You're right.
and Bowling Green. Okay. Later that night on the 27th, it's a little better. The game doesn't start until 9:45 our time. But
That has to be out west.
it is. We're going back to San Diego, Bud, and we're going to go back to Qualcomm Stadium
Oh, okay.
for the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl.
Holiday.
Baylor versus UCLA.
I went to that bowl when Iowa played Texas,
Texas.
and went pouring down
Yep,
rain.
I remember that
right to
one.
the end.
Joe, how we doing on time,
We
my
scored
friend?
55 points.
Can't see you.
Wonder?
We got 5
Yeah.
minutes. Okay.
Well, if you go through 35 holes, it'll take you 5 minutes.
Now, on December 28th in Shreveport, Louisiana, at Independence Stadium, you have
Independence
no, but I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's the Advocare V100 Independence Bowl.
How could we not know that? How did that slip by?
The Advocare V100 Independence Bowl.
Where is that?
I don't know.
Where did they come up with these?
Shreveport, yeah. Ohio versus Louisiana Monroe. And both teams are actually pretty
Have you guys noticed anything on these bowls?
good. What?
About every team in the MAC is in one of them.
Yeah.
Yep, tough conference. It is.
Matter
Okay.
nobody comes to the bowls.
Also on December 28th in Orlando, Florida, at the Florida Citrus Bowl. I guess there's a stadium called Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, we've been to that bowl.
In Orlando, it's the Russell Athletic Bowl, featuring Rutgers, soon to be a Big Ten member, and Virginia Tech,
Okay.
who
Okay.
just beat Iowa State the day after, or the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Well, there's
Now.
an interesting and logical connection.
Back when I was-
Russell Athletic.
Rutgers beat Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back when I was younger, you know what the name of that bowl was?
Citrus.
Tangerine.
Oh, yeah. Tangerine Bowl.
Tangerine Bowl.
That's when you were a lot younger.
Well, I remember the Tangerine Bowl.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
I think I was a baby.
How about that, Grandpa?
Well,
Back
gentlemen,
then I had to stay home.
Yeah.
later the night of Friday, December 28th, we are going to head to Houston to Reliant Stadium, where the Meineke Car Care of Texas Bowl will feature Minnesota versus Tech.
Well, that might be an interesting
I
ball.
don't think
I
so.
don't either.
Texas
No, I
Tech
hate
should win
that.
that by about
Yeah.
20 points.
I hate to say, but I hate to pick these Big Ten teams this
And
year.
their coach might be sick.
He is, he's a mess. All those,
Passing out.
what do you call it that Minnesota coach has? Seizures.
Yeah, boy.
I don't see how they.
Is he still having them?
Jerry
Yeah, he
Hill.
had one at halftime of their last game.
Yeah,
he
he's
didn't
had-
come back out the whole half.
We're not making fun of you.
No,
No.
that's a bad situation.
It's like his third one this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a couple last year.
Well, he had some before the season started, but
Yes.
he's a mess. I feel bad for the guy, except now
sick.
he is a gopher.
Well, that's got to be stress related.
Oh, think
You
about
would
that.
think so.
Okay, then on Saturday, December 29th, the big bowl games kick in. We're going to head to Fort Worth, Texas, Amon Carter Stadium, where the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl will feature Rice and Air Force.
Rice and Air Force.
Well, at least they have a military team in that.
Have you ever been to Yankee Stadium?
I have the old one.
No, I mean the new one.
Nope,
Yeah,
not the new one.
Well, I'll be coming up pretty quick.
Well, that's the next
Oh,
bowl
yeah.
game on Saturday,
There we go.
December 29th.
Good timing, Murph.
In the Bronx, New York, Yankee Stadium. It's the New Era Pin Bowl.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Pinstripe, Yankees to get it.
Now I get
They
it.
got beat last week.
West Virginia versus Syracuse.
Boring.
Man, Syracuse wasn't very good this year.
Yeah.
And they still made a bowl game.
Gee.
Okay, well, we're just getting started on Saturday, December 29th, because after the New Era Pinstripe, what? 1 minute. We'll have to continue
the
this
next
very riveting bowl game
Here's Iowa
discussion.
State coming up playing Tulsa.
1 minute. The next one is the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl. Navy versus Arizona State.
How do you spell that? Crap.
Kraft.
Oh, I just-
like Kraft
checking.
Foods.
Kraft food.
This show has gone by very quickly, which is always a sign of a good show, especially one filled with opinions like we have.
Yes.
High school basketball, boys and girls, is underway, and every team in Iowa City is going to be fun to watch. Get out there and support your high school teams. Get out there and support the Hawks when they take on Iowa State this week in basketball. On behalf of Bob Boyd and Bud Murphy, I'm Dirk Keller, thanking you for watching Sports Opinion every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and every Sunday night at 6 p.m. on Channel 18. That is public access. Guys, that's all we got. Either you're a Hawk or you're not. Go Hawks, beat the Cyclones.